What's up, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? I'll probably wait a couple minutes, let more people get in here for the people that care about the situation. But as you can tell by the title, I just wanted to address some of the things that Frosty said overnight. I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning to a slew of tweets, and I've got a lot of emotions running through my mind, and I just need to speak my piece on this. So we can catch up for a little bit, and then we're going to get started. I wish this stream were for a better reason or a more positive reason. I'm going to be getting back into streaming here in the next couple weeks. I got something that you guys should be pretty excited about, or I'm excited about it at least. Hopefully you guys are too, but you're definitely going to be seeing a lot more of me here. We had a good run in the first 6 months of the year, playing a lot of Valorant. I missed the game. We're going to get back to that. My fiance had COVID all last week. I was supposed to be at creator camp. Decided not to go, just in case I would have ended up with it and been stuck in New Jersey and got everybody else sick. So I didn't end up going to that. I was playing a little bit of Apex off stream. Apex is a lot of fun. I've been playing with controller. It's been a good time. Oh man, my fucking blood pressure's raising already. I'm gonna explain everything, chat. I'm gonna explain as much as I can, because I don't have anything to hide. Twitter's down? Emote only? Yeah, you can go emote only, Hitch. That's cool. It's a good suggestion. Give me 2 seconds here. All right, listen. Man. I'm not doing this for show. I'm not doing this for any other reason than the fact that we get. Hold on, man. I'm. All right, I tried to record this. I tried to record a video. I got 30 minutes into one good take, but I figured doing a stream would probably be the best course of action. Listen to me. When I was younger, I would get involved, banter on Twitter, have a lot of fun on the internet. I'm 30 fucking years old. I've been on the internet since I was like 13. Hopefully you guys have seen in the last 5 years since 100 Thieves started, I don't get involved in drama. Regardless if I think I have something that people should know, I don't get involved with it because I got a bride to be in that house. I got 2 dogs. I got a great group of friends. I don't need drama to have fulfillment in my life. I don't need to get involved in situations that are going to bring me stress and bring me a lack of peace of mind. When you get older, you realize peace of mind is everything. And when I lay my head on my pillow at night, I want to make sure that I made the right decisions and did the best that I could. And I don't like getting involved in shit like this. I didn't even want to do this. But everybody on the internet has knee-jerk reactions and, wants to listen to one side of a story. So we're going to talk about Froste and the tweets that he sent out last night. I woke up this morning at 6 a.m. and was just getting a bunch of mentions, and then I go over to Froste's profile, who I follow. I thought we were on good terms. I thought I was on good terms with everybody on the mob. I see Classy from time to time at parties. We were just hanging out not a month ago, and I didn't realize that there was still pent up emotion from Froste's end. So we're gonna start from the top. For anyone that doesn't know, the mob is comprised of 4 individuals. It's Classify, it is Avalanche, Mako, and Froste. And their time on the internet, or at least I think when they started gaining a following, was back when I was coming up, back in like 2012, 2013, when Twitch was starting to really gain some traction. My career was really starting to take off. A couple hundred viewers turned into 1,000, 1,000 turned into a couple more thousand, and shit was going really well for me. And there were a bunch of kids that would be in my chat every day, cracking jokes, a really great sense of humor. And that was the 4 individuals that ended up being the mob. Ava, Frosty, there's a kid named Ace Thug, Classy, Mako was in there. Those guys are my day ones. They were there with no incentive, no other reason except for the fact that they enjoyed watching my stream. And so, when you see a kid with a good sense of humor, you want to follow them. So I modded those guys on my channel. I started following them on Twitter. And over the years, we had a great relationship, a great rapport. And that never changed. And I didn't think that had changed. And so as the years go on, after, we start building a relationship, my career obviously shifts a lot, right? I'm a part of Optic. I'm competing. I retire. I moved to LA, and just a whole lot of changes. So then we get to, 4.5 years ago, and I started up 100 Thieves. Now, listen, I know you guys are going to want to hear about Nick Merckx. I don't think I'll ever address that. Everybody has formed an opinion, and I respect Nick and his perspective, and I know for a fact people would be dying to hear about it, but it's neither here or there, and quite frankly, it's just not something that I want to talk about. But we have to talk about the mob because I was really close with these guys. All right, here's the thing. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done this live because I really wanted to do this in the right order. So 100 Thieves starts, right? We're up against teams that have been around for a decade. We're up against teams that have been around for a decade. I mean, I was on Optic for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, whatever. I forget the exact dates. You got FaZe Clan, and then you got the old guard of League of Legends teams, TSM, Team Liquid, CLG. There's a lot of history there. So with 100 Thieves specifically, we want to get our foot in the door as quickly as we could. And obviously, I had a pretty good following myself. And the entire thesis behind it was, hopefully some of the boys that supported me throughout the years want to stick around and see what's going on with, this new endeavor, this new venture. And, we felt like the best way to support that and get the brand and the recognition to as many people as we could is not only are we going to compete in esports, but we're going to create a bunch of content to support the team and to hopefully drive a lot of excitement on, every corner of the internet. Really approach gaming as broadly as we can so that when you come to see 100 Thieves or you go to our YouTube channel or you're on Instagram or you're on Twitch, there is something for everybody. You don't like competitive? Fine. We got creators for that. You don't like the the YouTube videos that we make and you're a diehard esports fan, we got players on stage. So we wanted to do as much as we could as quickly as we could. And so we brought on a lot of creators throughout the last few years of 100 Thieves. And with the mob specifically, these were 4 guys that really found their own niche where they came up on the internet very differently from a lot of people. These guys were just shit posting on Twitter, making memes, cracking jokes, and they were a part of the conversation in a lot of different Twitch chats. And like I said, these guys were with me from day one, and I really did. I was a huge fan of theirs. And so as the years went on and 100 Thieves started to form and we were bringing on more creators, you know, I was really driving the conversation internally with the rest of our staff here at 100 Thieves that we should bring on the mob. Like, let's get them out to LA. Let's start making videos with these guys. Let's give them an opportunity that they wouldn't have originally, because I felt like with their sense of humor and their ability to understand the internet and understand like the Call of Duty community, I felt like that could expand, you know, as we had hoped for 100 Thieves, and very quickly. I thought people would really get behind them. I did. And so, you know, we started talking about what a relationship might look like with the mob. And, you know, they had told us that they were trying to get into a house and they were trying to just take everything to the next level. And so it really felt like a perfect storm. Okay, we've got a platform here. We've got a bunch of creators with very different demographics. We've got a great opportunity for them to be exposed to a much bigger audience, and that, you know, we wanted to help build them up. And so as we started negotiating, you have to come to the reality that when you do something in business, it has to be fair for both parties. It has to be a fair agreement. And I don't want things to be, you know, my words to be taken out of context, but the mob, you know, if you look back, and even now, if you look at their channels, they were only averaging, you know, 100, 200, a couple hundred viewers. Maybe there's some exceptions into the rule there. Maybe there's a couple thousand, you know, for big moments. I don't know. But the fact of the matter, without trying to sound as if I'm holding this against them, they weren't very big. They might have had like a very rabid, you know, Twitter fan base that really loved everything that they did. But in all actuality, when it's time to make money, in the places that you can make money, on Twitch and YouTube and sponsorships, there wasn't a lot of opportunity for them. So we felt like that we were doing them a good service by bringing them into 100 Thieves. And I think the history of context is super, super important here, because when I brought up the fact that we brought creators onto 100 Thieves, I'm not saying that we, you know, started this, or, you know, I'm sure that there were other organizations that might have been doing this, but back in the day when you would join FaZe or you joined Optic, you weren't making any money. Like when you got onto the team, that's when you made it. And being on that team was what allowed you to have an opportunity to grow your audience even bigger and to make more money. You know, and and I wanted to explain that earlier because I don't want what I'm about to say next to be correlated with this. But back in the day when I was on Optic, I didn't make any fucking money. I didn't have a salary. Now, again, this was a long time ago. The gaming industry has matured and it has evolved, and there is much more money in this industry and much more opportunity for individuals than there ever has before. And I could not be happier for anybody that loves gaming or was in the same shoes that I was when I was younger and was trying to do something with my life that I loved and had a passion for. I'm ecstatic that the industry has grown into what it is. It's what's allowed me to start 100 Thieves. But back in the day, we didn't even have a Twitch sub button. You know, we were sitting there with the opportunity that Hector gave us with Optic, and you got to tip the cap to Hector because he got us a house, and we didn't have to worry about anything at all. I slept on an air mattress for a year and a half. I didn't have a salary. We were paying player buyouts for players that we wanted to bring over to our competitive team. And Hector was in a really tough position because we were sitting there trying to figure out how all these organizations were making money because we couldn't figure it out. You know, they were bringing on sponsors, but even then sponsors, like sometimes you would see a team 10 years ago with a sponsorship and they were just giving product. And so Hector, you know, for as ahead of his time as he was, he got us into a house. We didn't have to pay rent, but we weren't making any money. And it was very much an eat what you kill mentality. You know, he was just fanning the flame, fostering an environment for us to have an opportunity to do what we love. And we knew that. And so that's why we're up every single day in the master bedroom of the content house, stacked 5 heads deep on fold-out tables and chairs, streaming 12 hours a day. You finish your stream, you get off, you upload a YouTube video, you go to sleep, you wake up, you do it again. Every fucking day. Every day. Because I wasn't going back to fucking McDonald's and I wasn't going back to community college. And I'm not trying to pander and sound like a martyr or pat myself on the back. I promise you that's not why I bring this up. I just want you to know that I was in the same shoes as the mob. And that's why I was the one that was pushing our company to get these players out to LA, sign them, and give them the opportunity that I had when I was younger. Because they've been in gaming just as long, not as long, but they've been a part of the same community that I've been a part of for a very long time. And I've always had a lot of love for them, and I think they're hilarious. I sound like a broken record. I've already said that. So let's move back to current day. We start negotiating with the mob. They are, like I told you before, you know, Twitter shitposting meme lords. Like, these guys understand the internet. And they had streamed, and they were streaming from time to time. But again, they only averaged, you know, like 100, 200, 300,000 or 300 viewers, right? So we let them know, like, listen, we want to give you an opportunity. We want to get you out to LA. But the onus is going to be on you to show us that you have a level of maturity and can rise to the occasion of, you know, the company and the infrastructure that we already have. So we're going to pay everybody $2,500 a month. You have to live in LA. You have to be here. We will help you find a home, but ultimately, this is your responsibility. And so we had multiple people on staff helping them, you know, browse websites, find the right places, build out a spreadsheet, look for, you know, the right fit, because we needed to make sure that they knew that they have a responsibility just like every other employee that we have at the company. You know, you got to, it's time to grow up. It's time to be mature. It's time to have a responsibility if we're going to give you this opportunity. Now, if that didn't sit well with them and that didn't feel right to them, I wish they would have told us that this doesn't make sense or we can't financially make this work. But that was never the case. That never happened. And when they were going and looking at homes, they were the ones that chose a $10,000 rent home. Now, one of the things that I saw Froste say, and I should pull up these tweets. So that you can see it. But one of the things that Froste said was that we had to live in a $10,000 home, and we had to live in West LA. We had to be 15 minutes away from Nadeshot's house in the compound. We couldn't go anywhere else. Listen, I've been living on the west side of LA for 8 years now. And I promise you that there is a number of options for living here that are more financially suitable for what their situation was. Okay? And they decided that they wanted to live in this specific home. Even in the contract, I have all these emails. I have all the terms. I have everything that you guys would want to see. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. But they decided to live in this $10,000 a home, a $10,000 a month home. Great. Right? So the problems start to arise when they finally get to LA. Let me pull up these tweets. I gotta just do this in the right order. I really do. I don't want anything. And this is why I should have went with the video, but I don't care. All right. Let's see these tweets. $2,500 each in rent a month while we're only getting paid $1,650. That's after taxes. There was many days where we had to skip meals because we couldn't afford to buy food unless we begged our parents to send us money. It's truly a wonder why Mako wanted to leave the mob and move in back with his family. So listen, Mako went through a really tough time in his life From my understanding, there was many reasons why he wanted to go home. It was never brought to my attention that he wanted to leave because he felt like he was living in an intolerable living environment. That I have never heard that once in my life, and that is the God's honest truth. Okay? So, $2,500 a month for each individual. They have to pay rent. They have to find the home. We help them find the home. They choose the $10,000 a month house. Okay? We also had a $2,500 a month budget for them to use for content. To the best of my knowledge, they used that 1 month at one point to buy all of the microphones and equipment for the Mobcast. Okay? So that budget was tapped into. They knew that budget existed. I think I saw Froste at one point say all the ideas that they had were never approved. I've never heard that before. Could I be wrong? Yes. Do I believe I'm wrong? No. And I wouldn't bring it up if I thought I was walking myself into a trap here saying something I shouldn't. So we have $12,500 a month for these guys. Okay? Then we get to the point where Frosty brings up that we took 95% of their sponsorship deals that we brought to the mob. That is unequivocally, undeniably, without a shadow of a doubt, untrue. It is absolutely untrue. There is no basis for Frosty to say this. At one point, I have an email that the key terms of these deals that we bring to the mob, we would retain 85% of revenue. We did 3 deals for them, and two out of the 3 deals, they took home 65% of the revenue from that deal. Okay, 65% of the revenue from that deal. One of those deals, they made $30,000 each. It was a $200,000 deal. They walked away with $120,000, I believe it was. Okay? And what you don't understand is that we have to employ a partnerships team that needs to go out and source these deals. Then you have account management that handles, once that deal is sold, account management coordinates with everybody else within the company, whether it's marketing, whether it's content, whether it's a deal that is done with talent. And we have to incur labor expenses to make these things a reality. Okay? And with that very large deal that I had just laid out for you guys, we had to have a talent manager over at the house, and we had to go back to the actual agency that brokered this deal with our partnership team and try to make good because they weren't delivering on the things that they had agreed to for this contract. Another deal we did, they walked away with $12,000 each. Another deal we did, they walked away with another $12,000 each. And again, 2 out of these 3 deals, they walked away with 60 or 65% of what we actually brought home. So we didn't even get to recognize, that much profit off of these things. I really didn't want to talk. I have a lot more to say. I have a lot more to say, and I want that to be clear. But what I said in the video that I filmed before I started this stream is that I never wanted to address this. I don't want to talk about this because I have always respected the individuals that have been a part of the mob. I've always had a lot of love for these guys, even when there were tweets from Frosty a couple months ago. You shake it off, keep it moving. He's a young kid, whatever. Frosty, Mako, and Classy haven't said anything on social, so I hate the fact that they're even getting brought into this. But if you're going to come to the table with all these facts, I need to make sure that you all understand that we weren't taking advantage of these individuals. Okay, this 95% is not true. All right, so let's go back. I want to talk about some more of these things. And I'm sorry if this is all sort of all over the place. Like I told you, I think the video would have been better. And maybe I'm a little rusty, but at least I know I'm getting the truth out. So we talked a little bit about the money. But now let's talk about the opportunity with the mob, right? So the entire idea, the entire thesis that we bring these guys over to, I forgot to mention, we bumped their salaries up to $3,000 the next year, the second year that we renewed their contract. And I'll talk about that in a minute too. The entire thesis was we bring the mob around other creators. We bring them around 100 Thieves. We give them a platform to be themselves and hopefully grow and have an opportunity to be full-time gaming creators, because that's what we thought that their goal was. So we sign them. We make the announcement. They get to LA. And this is the tough part, because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, okay? But back in the day, I talked about Optic, I talk about FaZe. I've seen this happen so many times since I started on YouTube. A lot of times people will join a team like FaZe or they'll join a team like Optic, and they'll have the realization that I made it. I made all the videos I needed to make to finally join this team. They've accepted me. I'm a part of it. And then they take the foot off the gas pedal. Okay, it has happened with more creators that I can even think about right now. I can barely hold a thought in my fucking head. So I'm not making any assumptions of what happened with the mob after we signed them and brought them over. Okay, and I don't want to bring the other individuals that are a part of the mob into this, but the proof is in the pudding, guys. I had thought that we were giving them a big opportunity, okay? From individuals that were averaging just a couple hundred viewers, if not lower some days, having them be a part of a tier 1 organization like 100 Thieves, I thought, on top of the fact that we brought them out to LA and we moved 4 best friends into a home together, I thought that this could only be productive. This could only be the perfect situation and scenario for all of these guys. They didn't work. They didn't make videos. They didn't stream. They got here, and we'll never know why it is that it panned out the way that it did. But if you really want to go look at stats, and you really want to look at the work that was done while we're bringing these deals in, while we're paying these salaries, and while we're supporting them as much as we can with the employees that we have, the resources that we've created for ourselves, and the platform that we have built along with our community, that mentality that we had back in the day where you eat what you kill, they weren't uploading. And 6 months into this relationship, a lot of our staff who haven't come from, the world of content and esports and the organizations that I've seen and were a part of back in the day, they were frustrated. They wanted to move away from the mob after the first year, and they were talking about it 6 months before the rest of the term was even done. It was a headache for them to deal with, trying to get them to do things, trying to, they would go to the content house where the mob was living. They'd get there an hour before the shoot, and the place was an absolute mess, and the production team had to clean it up, and they would be there for hours and hours later than they should have been, because there wasn't any accountability. Nobody was uploading. Nobody was making videos, okay? And that killed me inside. And I told everybody at home, I told everybody at 100 Thieves, I'm like, listen, you guys got to understand, these guys need time to rise to the occasion. They came up, on Twitter. They came up on social media. They're not natively content creators, but I think that they can do it. They definitely have the right sense of humor to do it. We just need to give them time. We need to give them, maybe we, hire somebody to be head of production. Maybe that gives them a good kick in the ass or a good kick in the right direction. But we couldn't give them any more resources after all the time that we had been spending trying to get them to see the light. I uploaded more videos on my main channel in my prime than they did in 2 years on their YouTube channel with 4 people, 4 best friends. And they talk about Froste in one of these tweets. He said, imagine if we had enough money to where we didn't have to stress over where our next meal was coming from. That's absolutely not true. We didn't take any of their stream revenue. We didn't touch it. I have done the math. I have seen what has happened. In the 2 years that the mob was part of 100 Thieves, they made over $500,000 collectively. Not a piece, but you know, if you really get down and start going through the spreadsheet, besides the rent that they were paying in the home they chose to live in, besides the home that they had to pay rent for, they were bringing home like $35,000. They were making like 66 grand a year. And for creators that only have like 100 or 200 viewers and aren't making videos and aren't streaming, I think this is more than generous. This is more than fair. Okay? I wanted to know if I was crazy. I had to make sure that I did this the right way before I talked to you guys. And listen, in June 2019, this is when we announced that the mob was joining 100 Thieves. This is when Froste's average viewers was the highest it's ever been. And this was our entire goal, to give them an opportunity to have more people watching them. Froste claims that the internet wasn't working at the house for the first 4 months that they joined 100 Thieves. We had a compound with 4 streaming pods. I can't figure out with the dates if that's when COVID started, we had to close the compound. Either way, we told them that the house was their responsibility. I don't know who set up the internet. I don't know what happened with the internet. I don't know if that's true or not. But Froste believes this. But listen to me. If I have this opportunity that they had in front of them, and I'm in front of more people than I've ever had the opportunity to be in front of, I'll be fucking knocking on Spectrum's door or whatever internet provider they're using. I would be out there every single day until they came to this house and they fixed it. Now, I don't know if they thought that this was the responsibility of 100 Thieves, but if I were them, it would have never even got to the point where I'm waiting around 4 months to get it fixed. So, in the 2 years that Froste was a part of 100 Thieves. Now, again, remember, Twitch is the main source of revenue for most creators. And the bigger ones make a lot of money from sponsorships. This is true. Froste, I did the math. In the 2 years, from start to finish, Froste averaged 40 hours a month streaming. He averaged 40 hours a month. That's 1 week of work for one of our employees who's making less money than Froste. And right after he leaves 100 Thieves, he streamed for 377 hours. This is the month, 2 months after he left 100 Thieves. He streamed for 377 hours. And then the next month, he streamed 519 hours. I'm sorry. Guys, I don't know what your perception of me is and my responsibility and role at 100 Thieves, but I spend a lot of time at the office. There have been ebbs and flows of my, involvement in the corporate and business development aspect of our business, but I'm fucking there. And I can tell you everything that is happening at this company across apparel, Project X, a new venture that's launching, High Ground, content, marketing, talent. I am very involved. In the 2 years that the mob was a part of 100 Thieves, Froste streamed, let's see. In April 2020, he streamed 129 hours. Then the month prior to that, I streamed 157 hours. I've got a family and a full-time fucking job. I'm not doing this to pat myself on the back. I'm doing this to give you guys a metric to understand what we were dealing with. And I truly hope that you guys know. I don't like to talk about these things. After we departed, shook hands with the mob and said goodbye, I never thought that there would be negative blowback. I didn't think there was anything that needed to be said because I thought we left on good terms. And like I told you at the beginning of this stream, when I put my head on my pillow at night, I know that I have peace of mind because I have tried my best to do the right thing. And at one point, Froste even brought up the fact that the most money that he ever made was during the Uno tournament where we got second place. They won $75,000 from an event that we created in partnership with Cash App, where we invited some of the biggest creators on the internet during the halftime of the Super Bowl to compete in a $500,000 Uno tournament. And Frosty says that the most money that they ever made with 100 Thieves was because of this Uno tournament. If you weren't a part of 100 Thieves, Frosty, you would have never been a part of the tournament. We had you sitting next to Valkyrie, Courage, Castro. Brother, you average 100 viewers. And I don't even mean this as to be disrespectful. I just think that there needs to be a lens of logic and being rational about your situation. I hate that I have to... Frosty, I know you're a smart kid. I know that you're a very independent thinker. I don't know what I did to you that made you so jaded and so upset and what made you feel like we didn't care or we were predatory with our business dealings or we took advantage of you or we did anything that could be seen in a negative way. But you continue to say all of these things. And I just don't get it. Now, I want to be fair because Classify, we tried to work with him. When everything happened with the mob, I talked to Classy on the side because he had put forth effort. He streamed more than everybody else. He was trying to make videos. And from his perspective, he felt like he was working his ass off. And Avalanche streamed more than Frosty. Mako, I couldn't find his stats. And that's completely aside from what's happening here today. But I truly do believe, and you can form your own opinion off of all these things and believe what you'd like. But I know for a fact, like I said, when I put my head on my pillow at night, I know that we put our best foot forward and we did everything we could to help these 4 individuals who I have a ton of respect for, that I truly did believe in, that I fought battles with internally to keep them around. I truly believe that we did everything we could to provide them a platform to take their gaming careers to the next level. And whether Frosty believes it or not, he specifically, I got to stop talking about everybody. He specifically did not take full advantage of the opportunity. You know, even with the housing thing, like I said, you know, could we have moved them to Chicago or New York or Texas where a lot of creators live? Maybe. But we had to have them in LA because they were a young group that had not been full-time creators before, and they needed to take responsibility for the situation. And the best way to amplify their group was to be around the 100 Thieves universe. And they chose to live in a $10,000 home. You know, maybe with some hindsight, they would go back and do it again. Or maybe I would have, you know, been more involved with the negotiation and told them, listen, I think this is a bad idea. I think you guys should get a 2-bedroom house, spend $4,000 a month, pocket the rest, and everybody's streaming in the living room. You know, I watch Sub Rosa. He's on the professional TSM Valorant team, and I go to his stream. He's got 3 people behind him streaming and gaming every single day. Maybe it should have been a smaller, cheaper home. But the entire thought process is we thought that we were adding gasoline to the small fire that they had created with the following they had on social media by, you know, giving them an opportunity to put a little bit of money in their pockets, sell a couple sponsorships, show them what life can be like if you work hard and make the opportunity for yourself. But the fact of the matter is, Froste specifically did not work. In 2 years, he averaged 40 hours on stream. He has not uploaded a video to his individual channel, and the mob has only uploaded 33 videos in 2 years. Now, I hope all this makes sense, and I feel like I'm missing things that I wanted to address as well. So I'm going to look at Twitter and some of the tweets that were made and try to figure all this out. I already talked to you guys about the 95%. Never happened. Uno tournament. Enough money. Here's the other part too. You don't need money to make YouTube content. You know, maybe it's not apples to apples, but, you know, a lot of people come to my chat. They say, man, I can't play golf. The entire sport is gatekeeping. It's really expensive. There's no way to do it. I don't even know why I'm using a golf analogy, but the point is, my dad was a blue collar carpenter. My mom was a secretary at a hospital. You know, we were middle class at best. My dad worked his ass off. So did my mom. If you have $100 in your pocket, you go buy a hand-me-down set of clubs. You go walk on the municipal course like I did. You pay $9. You're playing 9 holes. You get to twilight. They cut it down to $5, and you're playing golf. Golf can be a very expensive sport, but the barrier of entry is much, much lower than what people actually believe and what is actually true. Content creation is the same way. And that's why I wanted to bring up Optic earlier, because like I said, we weren't making money. A lot of you guys know this about me. And again, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I think it's important. I was going to community college and I was working full-time, minimum wage. I quit all that, which was probably really irresponsible at the time. But then we moved into Optic House. Me, Big Timer, Merc, Scump, and Hector. We weren't making any money unless we made it for ourselves. We were happy to be a part of Optic, and it gave us an opportunity to be bigger than we were. People that joined FaZe back in the day, they had FaZe in their gamer tag. They made it. And now we're going to go pump videos out, and we're going to go make some real money. So it just really sucks when I know Frosty knows that I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been in his situation before. And this is why it hurts so much when people from the community place blame on 100 Thieves without realizing what is actually happening behind the scenes. And you make assumptions and you feel as if I would ever try to take advantage of a group like the mob. I walked in their shoes. Guys, whether you want to hear it or not, a lot of people have already formed opinion about 100 Thieves. And I know that. And I've made my peace with that. But contrary to some people's belief, I'm not sitting here every fucking day trying to scheme and crawl my way into making more money and trying to fuck people over. I could retire today. I could go move back to where I grew up and live a great life. I could stay in this house. I own it outright. I don't need to claw over individuals and take advantage of young kids to make more money. And if I was going to take advantage over somebody, anybody,
It damn sure wouldn't be the fucking mob. And I don't mean that it's to sound like an asshole. And I'm not, my blood pressure is rising and I'm sounding like a dick. But there is nothing for me to gain to take advantage of somebody that's averaging 100 viewers on Twitch. What am I getting out of that? Why would I go out of my way to try to fuck up my own reputation by taking advantage of kids? The internet is just such a polarizing and divisive place where everybody picks a side. You're either with us or against us. You make an assumption and it eats me alive. But I have a great group of friends. I have, a woman that loves me. I've got a family that cares about me. And I know that I can be at peace with all the things that I've done and the things that I've said. And so is it annoying to see all the comments, especially with something like this popping up? Yeah, but you can't beat the internet and you can't beat the hive mind. I've been in gaming for 15 years and it's just wild that, for the last 5 years, I haven't been a part of any drama. I haven't, maybe there's a tweet here or there to fucking Hastro on Envy, or I'm trying to think 100 Thieves has had a lot of success and we have done things faster and in some ways better than most. I don't sit here and pat myself on the back on social media. I don't fucking pound my chest and gloat. So all this stuff with the mob is just taking me to a deeper place where it's just like, if you get involved with drama more times than not on the internet, you come out with more viewers and more attention. I haven't gone that route. I don't do that. Not once. In the last 5 years, not once have I pursued drama in hopes of getting a rise out of somebody and more people watching me and trying to gain the spotlight. I don't do it. So I hope that can reaffirm the things that I'm saying, and you can believe the words coming out of my mouth, that I did not want to do this. I did not want to talk about these things so openly. I did not want to make people feel poorly about themselves because I don't need it in my life. I wouldn't want somebody to do it to me, but I wanted to make sure everybody understood that we negotiated this deal and worked with them for 2 years. And we did our best to make sure that they had all the things that they needed to not only succeed, I should say not only to survive, but to succeed. Because the way that Froste laid this out makes it think that he's living in a third world country in poverty. If you were skipping meals, why didn't you come to us and say, hey, I think I need to move back home. I can't afford this. I can't do it. But again, these guys are young. And that's another reason why I didn't want to talk about it. These guys are young. They don't have the experience that I've been able to have because I'm older. I'm 30 years old. I've been through good. I've been through bad on the internet. And so maybe, it is what it is. How many creators do we have on our roster? We got 15. I got to add up the numbers. And these people are independently wealthy. A lot of them, they make really good money. And maybe this isn't a great example because since they make better money without 100 Thieves, they don't need us as much. But have you ever seen a creator? And I know everybody's thinking Nick Merckx. It's an entirely different situation. And I know one day somebody wants to hear me talk about that. But I respect what Nick Merckx has accomplished. And I know he feels as if I did him wrong. And I don't want to address that. I don't want to open it up. And I know that's the example a lot of you guys are probably thinking when you sit at home. But I'm telling you, we have 15 creators on our roster who get paid significantly more, exponentially more than the mob because of its business, the audience that they bring to the table. They all have representation and everybody watching their back, but have you seen anybody else that we've taken advantage of? A lot of you guys wanted us to drop Frosty when he was a part of 100 Thieves because you said that he said wild shit, that he was crazy. But all of a sudden this morning I got everybody saying that 100 Thieves is scamming kids out of money and being predatory. But no, we're not looking back at the history books. We would have brought them more partnerships, but the partnerships that we brought them, they didn't deliver on it. We had to have people go over to the house to make sure they got it done. To go make sure that they tweeted it. And then we almost ruined relationships with our partners because the mob wasn't delivering on what they said they were going to deliver on. But we still did this deal for 2 years. We didn't owe them a second year, and then we raised it to $3,000 a month. So I'm talking in circles now. I think I covered everything I wanted to say. At this point, I think I'm just enjoying the fact that I get to say it out loud to other people. And that's not what I'm here to do. All I would ask, whether you care or not, is that moving forward with 100 Thieves, please stop making assumptions. I don't know what we have done to make people assume that we're out for blood or we're... I don't know. I don't need to say all this. I'm just too close to the chest, this one, man. I'm just too close to the chest with 100 Thieves. I left Optic, regretted that for a long time, not because I wasn't making enough money, but because I spent so much time building something up with, some of my closest friends, some of my best friends. And I let money cloud my judgment. 20-something years old, not making nearly as much money as I thought I could if I went and worked on my own. I felt like Optic was getting in the way of me actually securing my future in gaming. And I left and I moved to LA, and I regretted that for a very, very long time. Because once you get to a point where you're older and you can have hindsight and you can see where your decisions have led you, for a long time before 100 Thieves, I was ashamed of it. And I was disappointed in myself. And 100 Thieves saved me from what I thought was like the biggest mistake of my life. I love Hector like a brother, and Scump and a lot of those guys, Embos. I have a really close relationship still with them to this day. But I always felt like I fucked up by leaving. And what I've gotten to do in the last 5 years with 100 Thieves has been the most rewarding 5 years of my life. We've had countless employees come in and out. We've had teams win. We've had teams lose. We've had creators that we've spent a ton of time with. We've had some really incredible memories and something that I will never forget for the rest of my life. And we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep moving forward. And we got LCS playing in the winners finals versus Cloud9. We got the Valorant team in Istanbul playing at the LCQ. We just won a world championship. All the things that I've always wanted to do are coming true, like right in front of me. But what kills me is that we've got 100 employees, and back at the compound, who've got to read online that the organization that they're working for is taking advantage of young creators. And, that's what they have to think about. And they wonder, and they probably think, like, is this true? And so I would just ask that you stop making assumptions about how we're running this business, because like I said before, I have no reason in my mind and no reason or incentive to ever sit here, plot, twist, and have any ill intention of taking advantage of somebody else. We don't need to do it. We've got a great business. We've got the best employees in gaming. We've got the best creators across the entire landscape, and that's no disrespect to the other teams. This other thing. Are we competitive with other teams every single day? Yes. Do we want to win at everything we do, business included? Yes. But at the end of the day, the only reason that esports will exist 5 years from now is so that we have competition. And there's a lot of teams that are doing a lot of good right now, and I love to see it. So with anything I say, again, I've said this 2 times now, so maybe I'm lacking humility, but I want other teams to succeed. You think it fucking kills me to see Sentinels getting more engagement on an Instagram post of their Valorant team than us? Hell yeah. Does it make me happy that another team is more popular than us in a game? It drives me crazy, but I love it, because that means we're going to have a very bright future for Valorant esports. And I only bring up this one small example because people assume this is going to be around forever. People assume that there's always going to be money to pay to players. People assume that there's always going to be a company behind the tournaments that you guys watch and enjoy. Maybe one day everything will be just individual creators. Every single piece of content you watch will be on Twitch, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Shorts, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to do everything I can to make sure esports is still around, because it's what I love. It's what made me who I am today. And, watch an event with your team playing in it on stage in LA with 100-some thousand people watching. I want to make sure that stays here because I love it. And I want kids to have the same opportunity that I did. So, you got to support these other teams. We got to support the industry as a whole. There's just so much negativity around big brands, and that's the fucked up thing. Like I said, I've seen both sides of the fence, but everybody has a problem, on the internet. If you work with creators at all, the big brand is the problem. You're always in the wrong, because you've got tens of millions of dollars of capital and you've got a ton of employees behind you, and that's just one person. I promise you, not everything that these organizations do is malicious or with ill intent or bad. It's really hard to build a business around esports and creators. It is. So that's why I couldn't for the life of me always figure out why people thought it was an insult to call us a hoodie org, because we had another revenue stream, being delivered to our P&L every year. But money doesn't grow on trees. Players need to be played. Players need to be paid. Videos need to be made. This stuff, it just doesn't happen out of thin air. It's really hard work. And yeah, am I trying to make more money? Absolutely. I'd be lying to you if I said, yeah, could I go retire today? If I wanted to, I really could. I can. And I'm not trying to throw that in your face, but do I want to make more money? Yeah. But we're going to do it the right way. And we're going to do it so that esports continues to grow. Tides raise all ships. If another team wins, we win. If another team's doing something innovative and creative and people are paying attention to it, we all win. So I don't know how I got on this topic, but I've just had a lot of pent up frustration. Gaming can be the best place, but it also can be the worst place, because the problem with social media, everybody has a window into your life, and I present that. I've opened myself up to it, so I can't sit here and complain and act like it's the worst thing ever to deal with in the world, because I've been on the other side where this world doesn't exist for me, and that sucks too. So I take the good with the bad. But there's just so much scrutiny and criticism and negativity around everything that every creator does and everything that happens on the internet, and everybody's got a negative thing to say. Man, is anybody fucking happy on these apps? Like, let's just relax and enjoy our lives and try to do our best. I don't know. I sound like a fucking martyr, or that I'm trying to preach beyond my wisdom, but I don't know. Now, listen, I want you guys to know I would imagine that Frosty's going to come back with things to say. And I respect the fact that he has these strong opinions. But this is the last time that I'm covering this topic. If you bring it up in the chat moving forward, I'm not going to address it unless it's really good. Because again, I don't have anything to hide. I really don't. With the mob and Frosty, I don't have any guilt on my conscience, and I've said all the things that I need to say, and we've made the right decisions for us, and we've made fair and balanced agreements with them. And our time with the mob is over, and I cherished it, and I really enjoyed it, and I wish them all the best, because I still have a ton of respect for those guys, and they were with me since day one, and they're young, and whether they will ever feel, or Frosty will ever feel as if he were in the wrong in some capacity or another, I don't even care if he feels like he's in the wrong, but just come to terms with the fact that it didn't work out. We got to move forward and beyond, but I'm not going to address it anymore. But when somebody tells you that, they're skipping meals and we're taking advantage of them, when that's just absolutely not true. I wish them all the best. I do. I fucking love those guys, man. And that's why it should hurt my, I legitimately can't tell you the last time that a tear almost got brought to my eye. And this morning, actually, I wasn't sad. That's bullshit. My blood pressure was through the roof. I wanted to kill somebody. I couldn't believe. Couldn't believe it. So. We just quickly forget what happened at the beginning of the industry. Nowadays, when you see creators getting paid, be like, oh, that's status quo now. Everybody needs to, make all the money in the world. Thousands, if not tens of thousands of my peers that I came up with in gaming spent years making absolutely no money at all. One of my best friends dropped out of his last semester of college to take a job where he was getting paid $30,000 a year. And that man was working 80 hours a week sometimes. And you know what that did? That hard work got him to the point 10 years later where this man is never going to have to worry about his son's tuition or a thought in his head. He's creating generational wealth for his family. And he's the hardest worker in the room. But nowadays, and I want it to be clear. I tell our employees all the time, I'm like, hey, listen, take time off. We have unlimited PTO. Use it. If you feel like you're run down or you're being worked to the bone and you need a couple days for mental health, or you need to go on a vacation just because, do it. We do a summer break for a week. We do Christmas break for 2 weeks. We tell, like I said, we tell everybody to take PTO, take time off, reset. But what really needs to be realized and understood, we shouldn't shy away from hard work. Every single day I wake up, some days I don't want to do shit. I just want to sit here and stream 8 hours a day, Apex, Valorant. And I did that for a little bit. But 100 Thieves needed my attention. I needed help. I needed to go help. And every day I'm like, you know what? I feel like I've done enough. I'm going to go fuck off. I'm going to go golf every single day for the rest of my life. And, I'm not going to do anything. And then I remember my dad. If my dad were in my shoes today and I had the same thoughts in my head, he would beat the living shit out of me for even thinking about giving up on all the hard work that we've put into this company. That man worked 36 years in the union, manual labor, every single day, up at 4 a.m., 3 kids straight out of high school. That man had a prison sentence. It's a fucking prison sentence. That's the way I view his job. And he did it. And, you know, sometimes I know that, like, the younger generation can look back at the older generation and like, oh, man, this world is so fucked up. Look at the decisions you made. And look what we're dealing with now. And I know the housing prices are through the roof and inflation is killing us and student loans and all this shit is built up and everything's more expensive. When I did the house tour of this place that I'm living in, I said I never even thought about buying a house because, you know, our generation is just usually doesn't have the opportunity. It doesn't seem real. But the one thing that I agree with that my dad showed me and that generation showed me, this generation shouldn't shy away from hard work. Now, you should be creative and you should work and be efficient and you should create opportunities that our parents didn't have when they were younger. The internet is a beautiful place. I see all these people selling these, you know, Ponzi schemes. Oh, I'm going to teach you how to do drop shipping. I'd rather be seeing that shit than people saying, oh, I don't want to work hard. You know, there's so many opportunities to make money and find a side hustle on the internet. And I'm not saying that it's, you know, staring you right in the face, but a lot of people, you know, get a job and they don't want to work, but somebody has to do it or nothing's going to get done. And I'm not working manual labor, so I'm not sitting here telling you that if you're not working hard, busting your ass, that you're doing something wrong. But I just think that the mentality behind our efforts in working every single day, I think we're a little. I want to fucking win. You know, I don't want to lose. And that's why I do what I do. I want to win every day. And that's hard motivation to find. And I don't have that every day. But when I sit back and think about quitting, that's what I think about. I think about my dad. Maybe you don't have somebody like that in your life. Maybe you have other motivating factors that get you going every single day. But I'm just sharing how I feel and why all this really bothered me. Got to work hard for the things you want in life. There's no other way around it. Have to. You ain't going to 0.001% are going to grow up with a silver spoon shoved down their throat. Everything in life handed to them. You know, my business partner, John, he gave me a valuable lesson. He said, I feel bad sometimes for people that grew up with never having to worry about money. And I know that could be a laughing matter, like, oh yeah, I'd rather have a fucking Lamborghini and not have to worry about working or going to college. But a lot of those people are lost in life and don't have any purpose. And working every single day gives you purpose. And I know some jobs might be more miserable than others, but he explained to me that a lot of the people that he knew that grew up wealthy just didn't have any reason to function every day. And that stuck with me. It really did. As cliche as it sounds, it really did stick with me. So, I'm just ranting now, talking about any thought that comes to my head. So, you know, if you think I sound like a fucking psychopath, I understand. But this is how my brain works. So we can take it off of mode only, maybe go sub only. Oh, I don't have a Twitch button. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. I stream more hours almost every single month. And I don't even get paid from streaming. That's one time I'll pat myself on the back. And I'll definitely pat myself on the back when I'm in bed at night talking to my girl, but she's the only one that will listen to it and tolerate my ego. Everybody's got an ego, but you got to use it in the right places. Got to keep it in check. What do we talk about now? Who's got questions? Holy shit. We've got 44,000 viewers. How the hell did this happen? I didn't look at this thing one time. How long have I been talking? I've been talking for an hour. We got 43,000 people in here. Oh my fucking God. Some people are probably really confused right now. Drama clout. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. You know how many opportunities I've had for drama in the last 5 years? I didn't jump on it once. Because I don't want to deal with that shit. I'm telling you, yeah, you might not think it now. You might enjoy, talking about people and getting in the mix, drama. Maybe it's something that's fun and entertaining. And I agree, it is entertaining. Like, I'm not going to deny it. Drama, when I'm not a part of it, pretty entertaining. But I could have been a part of this and said a lot of things over the years to many people. But I just don't. I'm telling you, you're gonna get to your point of your life where you're like, holy shit, I just want to lay in bed with no stress and pet my damn dog and watch a TV show with my girl. I mean, that is living. As simple as it sounds, not dealing with stress or at least removing as much stress as possible in your life. That to me, that's the only way I can survive. Myth tweeted. Let's see what Myth tweeted. The mob got paid more than I did when I first signed a TSM. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Oh, that's tough, brother. Hey, he's crushing it, though. I like Myth. He's a good guy. It's the other reason why I didn't want to do it, man, either. Like Frosty, he's not going to quit. He's not going to stop. So we'll see what he has to say, but I'm sticking to my guns on this one, boys. This is how I feel. All that peace of mind that I was talking about goes out the fucking window as soon as I started this stream up, but I just couldn't let anybody make assumptions about what happened anymore. I couldn't do it for my mental health. But now guess what? I got to sit here all day thinking about what he's trying to cook up. We'll deal with it as it comes, though. Just know, I haven't lied about anything. I'm not showing you guys screenshots, but I have emails. I have the contracts. I have everything. So, we'll see. I'm not leaking the contract. But, luckily, we keep record of everything. And this is the problem too, man. This is what I don't get. I don't have, or I didn't have a problem with Frosty. These kids were watching me since 2012. We hung out in LA. We had good times in LA. I know there might have been aspects about LA they didn't like or Frosty didn't like. But I have never said anything negative about Frosty. We've only spent quality time together, which is why I just have no idea where all the emotion and all of the negative sentiments have, how they started brewing or where they came from. I truly don't get it. Down to my very core, I don't understand it. So. Classy Mako, Avalanche. If you hadn't heard it, I'm sure people are going to send this to you. If you get to watch the whole thing, I hope you guys know deep down, and I'm going to talk to you guys directly, and I'll send you a message after this as well. But you guys know, and Classy, you definitely know because I just saw you. I got a lot of love for you guys, man. I always have. And the reason why these tweets hurt me so much is because you didn't know or didn't get to see, and I don't expect you to know it. There's no way for you to know it. But I really wanted this to work. I truly wanted this to work. And I'm sorry that the lifestyle wasn't conducive to a productive lifestyle. You know, I'm sorry that if there's any negative sentiments at all, the 100 Thieves, I'm sorry that you feel that way. But I got a lot of love for you guys, and I respect the hell out of you. I got a lot of love for Frosty, too. I didn't want to talk about this shit. But we've been working for 5 years, man. I don't want people to have the misguided perception of 100 Thieves when I spent the last 5 years of my life trying to build this up with incredible people. And you guys were a part of it at one point. But I couldn't listen to it. So I wish you guys the best. Classy, I'm sure I'll see you soon. Ava, I hope everything's going well with this skate project you're a part of. And Mako, I hope everything's going well, man. Frosty, I hope you can send me a message one day and tell me what we did to piss you off or what I did to make you feel this way or what happened from the time that you left until now. I know Jack has a lot of love for you. I know that joke has bothered you for a while. I don't think he meant anything malicious behind it. I know Jack very well. I think you know him very well, too. When the mob was a part of 100 Thieves, we were always joking around, shooting the shit, bantering. And maybe we didn't know that you took that stuff personally, but your entire Twitter persona was cracking jokes. Everything was just memes and shit posts. And, you know, Jack jumping in and doing the same thing back, I don't think anybody could have ever anticipated that we would make you feel the way that you felt. And for that, I'm sorry. But I hope you can come to me and tell me what happened. And I don't know if there's something that can be done to make things right or to make you feel at peace with what happened over the last 2.5, 3 years now. But you let me know. So. All right, guys. Well, I don't have anything else to say about the topic. I'm sure things will pop up. I think I might actually stream for the rest of the day, play some Apex. I've been grinding off stream while my girl had COVID at night. So I wish everybody the best, man. I'll be back on the Valorant grind here soon. It's actually probably a great time. Oh, well, no, I shouldn't spoil it. But I don't even know why I have a sweatshirt on. I'm hot. Yo, listen. Hey. Listen to me. I got one more thing to complain about. Okay? How do I say this one the right way? A lot of you probably won't be aware of this, but we have an LCS team. We've been in the LCS now for 4.5 years, and we have had one of the most consistent and best performing rosters in League of Legends in the last like 2-3 year history. We got Abadage at mid lane, Closer at jungler, Someday at top lane, and FBI and Hui at bot lane. They just beat Team Liquid in a best of 5, and we just secured our spot at Worlds, which is considered a pretty big achievement in North America. And those guys have officially qualified for the main event in Chicago, which is happening September 10th through the 12th. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is to the League of Legends community as well. I know that EG was a fan favorite at the last event. You got this young kid, Danny. I got to meet his mom and his sister. They were very, very sweet. He's got a great family behind him. A lot of those players on EG are young and hungry. They got a really cool story. But that crowd was dominated by EG fans. It was, and I'll admit that. And I've said it on stream before that kind of shook me a little bit. It kind of hurt because I felt like as one of the new teams coming into the LCS, we have invested a lot of our time and resources into making content. A lot of teams aren't doing that. And, you know, we've done our best to, you know, give you guys a League of Legends program that you could be proud of, even if you came in 10 years ago. I know it's hard. Once you find a team that you like, you stick with them. I'm the same way. It's how people grow up. You're a product of your environment. And we got a lot of TSM fans, Cloud9 fans, Team Liquid fans, CLG. I get it. I trust me, I get it. But I don't care if you root for the organization or not. Doesn't fucking matter to me. I've come to peace with that. We got 5 players who deserve a lot of love and a lot of support when they're playing in Chicago. Okay? Abadage, you guys have been dogging him for a year, saying that he ain't all that. He shouldn't be in NA. He's a bottom tier 7 through 10 mid laner. Now, he has had probably the best summer split out of any mid laner in North America. Someday, just won MVP of top lane. Closer is the GOAT and has been making ridiculous plays in NA for many years. Hui was a part of 100 Thieves, one of the nicest people ever meet. And FBI is a stone cold killer in bot lane with him. Okay? So if it's not for 100 Thieves, I just need you guys, after winning the summer split, making it to the finals of the spring split, and now being in the winners bracket finals in the summer split again, those players deserve some love when they get on stage. And if you don't know enough about them to root for them, I need you guys to get out there and hopefully watch some of our videos. These guys have an unbelievable amount of personality. We got Abadage talking more shit than anybody I've seen in a long time. Whether you like that or not, I think it's actually good for the entertainment of the actual game itself. He doesn't mince words. He says it how he feels, and I respect the hell out of him for that too. So if you could do me one favor, if you come out to Chicago, that's my home state, my home city in Illinois. If you come out and just show those players some love after the performances they've had in the last 3 splits, it would mean the world to me personally. Because I know they can hear the crowds, and I know they heard Team Liquid chants in that crowd, and they ended up winning the series. And I understand. I get it. I know people pick teams. But those players, although not all of them are from North America, and I know everybody wants to see North American talent on stage, representing our region, but you're in a position where you got to win or people aren't going to root for you anyways. So we brought players in from Golden Guardians. These guys have stuck together for a very long time, and I think they're one of the most consistent rosters that have been a part of the LCS in a very, very long time. So, and I think they deserve some recognition for that. So if you got some energy in you be in Chicago, make sure you root for those players. I don't give a fuck if you hate 100 Thieves. The players deserve the respect, and they deserve some round of applause. Please. Thank you. Am I going to be in Chicago? Yes, I will be in Chicago. Duo with Tarek? Shit. Me and Tarek, we will have a reunion one of these days. Absolutely. For sure. Will I be watching Champions? I gotta get down to the bottom of that because I thought I was going to be on the list, approved to do watch parties, but I wasn't on the graphic they tweeted out. So I think I need to go back and follow up with them. I'm not upset about it. I don't know if I'm a part of it, but if watch parties are available, I will do them. Especially for 100 Thieves playing. I might not make it to the first match. My girl and I are celebrating our engagement this weekend. So I won't be streaming, but I'll be watching the game for sure. But she's got a lot of her best friends from Texas in town, and they're staying at the house, and we're hosting a bunch of people. But I'll be watching the match. I just probably won't be able to stream it. I got to take this sweater off. Give me 2 seconds. I don't want you guys to see my gut. There's no good way for me to take this thing off without you guys staring at my pale body. We're going to be announcing unveiling the World's jersey this year too. So hopefully you guys are excited about that. We got a lot of cool things coming at 100 Thieves. We got a lot of cool things coming. Optic Blake tweet. Let me see. What'd he say? Oh, Jesus. I can't. I'm not showing that on stream. Guys, again, I don't have ill will towards Frosty, so I'm not gonna get in on the banter. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna see it. I just wanted to make sure I said what I said. I'm telling you, man, I spent time with Frosty. He's not a bad kid. He's not. I just think he's got to be dealing with something that's, I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions. Pick up Crowder. We love Crowder. New apparel soon. We got new apparel coming. Absolutely. I think you guys are really going to like it too. We've been away. We've been, behind closed doors. We've been working. We got a lot of stuff in the next like 3 months that I think you guys are going to be really surprised by, and I think you guys are really going to like. I'm really proud of the progress that the team has made, and I'm pretty excited about it. I just want to say, appreciate all the love in the chat. I mean, this is the most viewers I think I've ever had in a long time. I wish it was for a better reason, but that's just the way things go sometimes, I guess. The drama sells, man. But is it worth the price? I don't know. Rocket League, man, I love Rocket League. I don't know with the economy.